Hello and welcome to this special presentation of the Great Flood 2 years later. I'm John Burns.
And I'm Chief Meteorologist Jesse Gunkel. We're taking a look back at the 2016 flood and the recovery process made to the area just over the past 2 years.
Well, it's a time many of us remember very clearly. The historic floods of 2016 were a time of devastation, but also a time of resilience. August 2016, South Louisiana was once again in the national spotlight after rainfall caused destruction to more than a dozen parishes. 13 people died in Louisiana. The governor called for a state of emergency. The floods dumped trillions of gallons of rainfall and caused billions of dollars in damage. Tens of thousands of homes and businesses here in South Louisiana were underwater, but the flooding wasn't caused by either of the usual suspects. Not a hurricane or even a tropical storm.
Meteorologist Mark Stitz takes a look back at what actually caused this historic flooding.
This is what 3 days of rain over South Louisiana looked like on radar last year, starting August 11th. There were few breaks from the rain in those 72 hours. So what caused so much rain to fall here? Simply put, near record moisture in the atmosphere and a slow-moving trigger to bring it down as rain. During the storm, the total amount of moisture in the air reached near record levels, about 40% more than average for even typically humid August. That measurement is taken at the National Weather Service office in Slidell, where Frank Rivette is the warning coordination meteorologist.
We're talking about an extreme amount of water, moisture in the atmosphere.
All of that moisture just needed a trigger, and it came in the form of a low-pressure system slowly moving across the Gulf Coast. The low pressure, marked by a red letter L in these upper-level maps of the atmosphere, can be seen moving along the Gulf Coast over 6 days.
When your systems are moving that slowly, you have thunderstorms that are able to repeat continually over the same area.
The National Hurricane Center monitored the low, marking it with a yellow X in many of its morning outlooks. Its reports continue to state tropical development was not likely due to the low's proximity to land, but that it would produce heavy rain either way.
It was trying to get some of those characteristics that we look for,
but never fully became a tropical system with strong winds.
Certainly never got up to tropical storm strength where you had 35 miles an hour winds or anything like that. No, never had anything like that.
This map of South Louisiana shows how much rain fell, with areas in white showing 10 or more inches. Even worse, the area shaded in gray, north of I-12 and near Lafayette. While the Baton Rouge airport saw more than 17 inches, some areas from Zachary to Livingston saw 2 feet of rain. This pushed the Amite River in Denham Springs to a record level, 5 feet above the old record set in 1983.
As you saw in that story and likely vividly remember, the rising water devastated many homes and businesses throughout the greater Baton Rouge area.
Yeah, Denham Springs antique store owner recalls the day he walked in to find water about 7 feet deep in his shop, forcing him to throw out everything that was in the store and literally start from scratch.
After the flood, we're out of business for a while here. 60% of the village was still in business, but there was so much devastation around, they shut down for several days and actually came and helped us clean out. They would cook meals for us. They would do a lot of things to help the ones that were not as fortunate as they were.
Despite having to throw everything out, Theater Antiques was able to get back to serving its customers within just a matter of months. And while many have recovered, Denham Springs residents did get together this year to remember that flood and the many who came to the rescue. An event was held at the Old City Hall to honor all the emergency responders who kept everyone safe in their time of need. People recalled how the community came together, reflecting on how far the city has come in just 2 short years.
I have to give as much credit to our citizens here in Denham Springs as much as to our first responders who are out there doing their job. It's amazing how far we came in just these short 2 years of the past.
Of course, the Cajun Navy was also instrumental in helping rescue people from their flooded homes. Well, another area hit pretty hard by the historic flooding was the city of Central. Amber Smith checked in with one family there about their recovery process.
When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you.
Pictures of the flood 2 years ago sit next to that scripture on the wall of Steve and Delise Nichols' now renovated home in Central Louisiana.
In some ways, it feels like it was just yesterday, and other ways it feels like it was so many years ago I don't even remember.
It was Saturday when they knew it was time to evacuate.
I felt like we were taken off for hurricane mode. We loaded up an ice chest with food. We were walking to our daughter-in-law and son's house in the next neighborhood in Bellingrath Lakes, and had one ice chest of clothes and medicine taken off. Before we knew it, we were in chest-deep water.
When they were able to come home, they were greeted by over a foot of floodwater.
You could see the watermark and where the water had been. It was devastating, not so much for us. We almost felt guilty that we only had as much water as we had because we had family and friends that had as much as 6 and 7 feet of water in their homes that had lost everything.
They poured their time and money into renovating the home into what it is today. They signed up for the Restore Louisiana program and just recently received another check in the mail compensating them for 100% of the repair cost.
That full 100% was unbelievable to us. We just did not see how that could happen. So for that to finally come through, it was such a blessing.
Well, there is some good news for homeowners like the Nichols. Though it was set to end last month, the deadline to complete applications for that program, the Restore Louisiana Homeowner Assistance Program, was extended. The new deadline is October 1st. Now, this deadline applies to roughly 4,100 homeowners who took the initial survey and have been invited to complete an application but have not yet done so. Homeowners can complete the application by visiting restore.la.gov or by calling to speak with a program representative from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. And we'll hear from Pat Forbes with Restore Louisiana coming up a little bit later in this broadcast.
Yeah, and John, our neighbors in Acadiana were also hit very hard by the floods. 600 structures in the Youngsville area were underwater just 2 years ago. Lester Dewey has the details on the work officials have been doing by then to just make sure this never happens again.
Youngsville probably had its darkest hour 2 years ago, but you know, collectively we were all determined to not make that story become our identity.
Youngsville Mayor Ken Ritter is looking ahead 2 years after the devastation. He realizes it's hard to predict when a rain event like that would happen again, but his administration has been working for the city to be better prepared during smaller weather emergencies.
First thing we did was we increased new construction developments. Youngsville has grown very rapidly through new construction, so it only made sense that we raised our standards and looked at the way we were growing.
The second thing the city did was check the existing drainage systems, making sure they are working as they were designed to.
Years of backlog from Lafayette Parish has caused a backlog of work to be done, so we got to work right away with newly hired help and rented equipment.
The third thing was aggressively work to pursue funding for drainage components that were identified in the city's 2015 master plan and start to complete a ton of projects on their own.
In this development that flooded because the water in essence had no place to go. So by controlling the level of the stormwater pond, it simply increases the opportunity for runoff from the streets to be contained within this pond.
Ritter says they are still waiting for the federal and state money to build those 2 storm water detention ponds.
However, he also says as soon as they get that funding, they are ready to begin construction. Also to come, LSU scientists take a look back at the flood of 2016. What lessons have forecasters learned, and could we see another massive flood?
Plus, there's a new deadline to file for additional assistance to recover from the floods of 2016. We'll hear from the head of Restore Louisiana next on this special presentation of The Great Flood 2 years later.